Hello and welcome back to the channel. It feels like it's been a while since I was doing this as frequently as I had been before, but you know, the real job and real life gets in the way of being an amateur street photographer. Anyway, today we're heading into London and we're diving into a unique corner of the United Kingdom's capital that's often overlooked by tourists, the City of London. Don't get confused with the City of Westminster. London is actually, two cities. The City of London is the financial district, and it's a combination of ancient buildings and modern skyscrapers, glass and chrome. So it's often overlooked by tourists, it's often overlooked by street photographers. It's all about business suits, high rises, you name it. Anyway, come along with me and let's see how I get on. Here we are in the city. Bit of a grey day, not exactly a hot town, and considering it's July, we've got to be a little bit disappointed. It's good to be out and quick whiz around. So I do like these columns. I was going to find a fancy architectural word for them then, but couldn't think of it. Anyway, they're a great backdrop, great structure, and again, as ever with street photography, you need the right scene to walk into it. I'm thinking maybe a group of people, but all separated out. Quite a lot of people about at the moment. It's still fairly early in the morning, people heading to work. And as the tube spills out, there'll be more and more, so we'll see how I get on. Just one person here. Makes quite a nice shot. People going through either side of her. I think it's all about the rhythm here, really. One of the great things about the city is you really get this collision of the old and the new. This street perfectly exemplifies that. The old stone buildings on the left, the old clock, and then the modern glass, chrome, high-rises. It's a great juxtaposition. I really like the reflection of the tower block in the other tower block, which seems to go on forever. Not quite Chicago, but pretty mighty fine, I reckon. I like these air vents that have been fancied up just here in the city, and there may be something here. Framing in there's a chap sitting there having a cigarette in a can, but whether it's too dark, too small in the image, we'll see. Of course, the other side might work too. And we've got the Lloyd's building behind with its amazing Batman-type architecture. Let's see if anything worthwhile comes into the frame. Well, I seem to have found a guy who's pacing backwards and forwards just outside, sticking his arse out at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. It's quite handy. I've got a few shots of him already, so we'll see if one of them works. It's what you want with street photography very often, is you can watch behaviour and you see something that's repeated, and you just have to wait. So there he goes, and he'll probably come back, but I think I've got the shot I need. Always quite a lot of corporate art here. It's quite nice, breaks the street up a bit. And so approaching the Lloyd's building, always really good as a backdrop. I'm always looking out for backdrops, and horizontals, diagonals, vertical lines always work a treat, but then of course, same old problem. You need someone to walk into it. So I found a spot here which you can't really see on the GoPro, but you get in this reflection in this black polished stone seat and the Lloyd's building here. And if you can see in the camera, I can get down to get the reflection, and hopefully somebody coming through further up. Quite drawn to these three people. Two on their phone, one having a smoke. I've said before I like shots of people on a break in a world of their own. So, there you go. That's what it is. A little bit of a tourist video now for those of you who don't know London, but I've been banging on about the Lloyd's building, the chrome and steel and the newness of the city, and how it juxtaposes with all the old stuff. So here we go. This is turning the corner into Leadenhall Place. Anyway, it's a good spot to visit. Get your shoes shined in the old-fashioned way. Get yourself an espresso, a pizza, but just wander about.
Yeah. Just give it a clean.
Like everyone else. And I particularly like this window. The light's always amazing. They've got that incredible chandelier. I've never actually had a coffee here. One of the few places where I've never had a coffee. And it won't be today either. I love this spot. The silhouette of the lamps and the chairs and the people walking through. Get an awful lot of silhouettes on social media, but sometimes it's worth it. Almost back where we started, a few hours later. And I'm quite enjoying this scene. It's all about composition, the barriers, vertical lines behind people going through, very much about layers. And again, it's got to be about getting that separation.
Not interfering with
Coming up to Blackfriars Bridge. This is official silhouette country. Here be silhouettes. And with the rain, we may get some umbrellas. We've got these fantastic girders. And I'm sure you can see St Paul's there. What you really want in these cases, but as with all silhouettes, is the geometry, so the fine delineation features. But these girders are really spectacular. Back in the city, 10 days later, hot, sticky, humid, not raining, overcast. Should be some decent light for some of what I want to do, but also not really the best light for any kind of work with shadows and steel, chrome and all of that. But I'm only here for an hour or so. Just thought I'd add to the video I'd done before on my way to meet somebody, and thought I'd kill that time with just a bit of a top-up. Maybe get a few more shots that I didn't get 10 days ago. Not really any idea what's going on, but massive steel girder being lifted up. Two guys attached by their high-vis jackets to the hoist. A guy with a stopworks sign. Can't help feeling there's something here. I'm always a bit of a sucker for a window, especially when it's got stuff written in it like this. Love you forever, ever, 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 ever. I still have. Faith speaks. Who knows what it's all about, but these are all stories. And sometimes, if I get out of the reflection myself, sometimes you can get a decent reflection walking through, although I don't know what it's going to be. Let's see what happens. Curves and lines and steel and glass and reflections. Maybe something in this. Enjoying this scene here just at Broadgate Circle and trying to catch people coming through the frame. You can get lots of layers in here with the closeness of the handrail on the left, the steps, and then the frame that the ceiling provides and the pillar on the other side. But people at different lengths, so obviously close up, the larger they are, further away, the smaller they are. And if I can get them all separated, it could be quite a nice, satisfying scene. Portrait and landscape. All kinds. Bit of depth in that. Not quite continuous shooting, but just waiting for those gaps and the right balance of small and tall to come through. Enjoying the number 5, it gives you something graphic to hang on to, as well as the rectangles. Lots of good strong lines in this. Should work well in black and white. Here we go. No, we don't. Nice silhouette here. Little lines coming down in the ceiling. A couple there, the bench, which is great. Definitely an image here. As always, for this final part of the video, I've printed out some images and let's have a look. So, a couple of black and white, a couple of colour. The first one up is this one, fairly early on in the day. I've gone with black and white, and actually I cooled it down slightly in the black and white, so it's got some blue tones in it, which I like. I like the life going on inside the cafe. This chap here looks like he's checking his messages. I love these lights at the top. It's almost like a starry sky. And then you've got this woman here. If you remember from the video, there were actually a couple of these, but this is the one where she looked up and makes eye contact. And I like how her eyes kind of appear between her finger and her thumb. Black and white wasn't an obvious choice because I also really liked the warm tones, the golden glow of the lights. But I think stripping it down to black and white, it says more about this person here, her hand and her face, and then this secondary character there and the distance between them. So that's my first image. Second one, again black and white. There wasn't a huge amount of colour in this scene anyway. It's all very muted tones. But I had a lot of fun playing with this black marble benching here because it reflects the Lloyd's building behind so well. And it was really just a question of who was going to walk through and what they were going to be doing. But I love how I've managed to catch this chap mid-action, just the very tips of his toes on the pavement, other foot in the air, and look at the blur in that leg. I really like that, and the fact that he is slightly indistinct. There's motion blur there, whereas everything else is pin sharp. So I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with the composition. If we want to talk about leading lines, here you've got them coming in, leading to the figure here. You've got it nicely. I guess these are thirds as well. So compositionally, I think it's pretty strong, and there's a lot of symmetry here as well, with him breaking it and moving through and out. So a pretty pleasing image. This one didn't appear in the video but was shot on the same day, and I've actually printed it twice, once on matte paper and once on colour. sorry, one's on gloss, and it's almost impossible to tell the two apart. I think I slightly prefer the matte version, which is this one here. But I like, for me, this is all about the green and the blue tones in it, but also the warmth around her, those yellows and oranges. A quiet moment on the tube, if you can ever really properly have a quiet moment down on the subway. Lost in her thoughts, been shopping, love the feeling it says on the bag. And yeah, that's image number 3. And image number 4, again, I'm not sure whether this actually appeared in the video. I think possibly not, but there's a heck of a lot going on in here. I like the fact that it's all about the gold and browns, the blacks and the whites, and the reflection. So we've got our central character here with his pods in his ears, his drink in his hand. Hard to tell what he's doing with his other hand. If you look closely, you can also see my reflection here, and here's my hand and the camera. But you've also got this car, and you've got the table and the lights. I just think visually it's a really rich image with a lot of different things to look at. So that's the end result of 2 days, as it turned out, or 2 half days, wandering around the City of London. It is somewhere I go fairly frequently, and it's always very different to the feel of the West End and the City of Westminster, particularly at weekends. It's very quiet at weekends and during holiday times, but full of business suits and glass and chrome, as well as those ancient buildings nestled amongst the skyscrapers. An exciting place to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then please do give me a thumbs up. And if you've really enjoyed the series I'm putting together, then a subscription, do subscribe, that's always a big help. Anyway, hopefully get some more out to you soon. As I said, the day job really does get in the way sometimes, and I'm off to France with 45 children next week as part of that. So there won't be any images from there, but I've got plenty of other videos lined up. Take care and see you around.